It's now been 67 years since the liberation of France, but at today's D-Day ceremony in Normandy, there was one woman who's still in mourning. In fact, until recently, Peggy Harris of Vernon, Texas, didn't even know her husband Billy was buried here, and certainly didn't know the story I'm about to tell you. Billy was a fighter pilot, shot down and killed in July of '44 over Nazi-occupied northern France. But because of a series of snafus, miscues, and miscommunications, that information never got to his wife. As far as she knew, Billy was just missing.
How many years did you wait?
All my life.
Peggy never remarried, never moved on, and might never have known the whole story if a relative hadn't looked into his military records a few years ago. The surprise wasn't that he died. Peggy had come to assume that. It was what came after.
Here in the tiny Normandy town of Levant, the main road is actually called Place Billy D. Harris. It's the same road the townspeople have been marching down 3 times a year for the past 60 years, in part to commemorate his sacrifice. How much does Billy mean to them? Just listen to the mayor's voice when she gets to reading his name on the monument. That's how much.
Hello, Peggy.
And by extension, that admiration now goes to his wife.
So happy to see you again.
Since learning her husband crashed near here, Peggy has been making an annual pilgrimage. She visits the nearby woods where the plane went down, escorted by 91-year-old Guy Surlot, the only witness still living. Guy said Billy was able to maintain control of the plane, despite his condition, and avoid the village. A hero in death. At first, they buried Billy in their local cemetery, covering his grave with flowers knee-deep. Even after his body was moved to the American cemetery at Normandy, the town continued to take flowers to his grave.
How can I not be grateful and hold these people very dear?
The people of Levant say they just wish they could have done more. If only I was able to help, Guy said, to which Peggy responded, "You did."
I like to think that he was still conscious enough to know that a friend stood by him. And that this man was that friend.
Her gratitude is matched only by theirs. In Levant, the American sacrifice is still very much treasured and honored.
So we don't forget.
They don't forget.
And now that we know the story,
They don't forget.
neither will we. Steve Hartman, on the road in Levant, France.